Corruption is a global issue that undermines governance, weakens public trust, and exacerbates inequality. According to Transparency International's 2023 Corruption Perceptions Index, many countries around the world are either stagnating or worsening in their fight against corruption. In this video, we'll explore the state of corruption globally, regional breakdowns, and what can be done to address this challenge. The Corruption Perceptions Index, or CPI, has been the leading global indicator of public sector corruption since 1995. It scores 180 countries and territories based on expert assessments and surveys of business people. The scores range from 0, which represents high corruption, to 100, representing a very clean government. In 2023, the global average CPI score was just 43, indicating that corruption remains a significant challenge in most parts of the world. Despite various efforts to combat corruption, the 2023 CPI report shows that most regions are either stagnant or declining. Sub-Saharan Africa remains the lowest scoring region with an average score of 33, reflecting severe governance issues, weak democratic institutions, and political corruption. The Middle East and North Africa region has also shown little improvement, with ongoing political corruption and conflict, particularly in Yemen and Syria. Western Europe, traditionally the best performing region, saw a decline in its average score, which now sits at 65. This drop reflects weakening checks and balances, as well as declining political integrity in countries like Iceland, the UK, and the Netherlands, which have hit historic CPI lows. In the Americas, a lack of independent judiciaries and political impunity are key issues. Guatemala, Venezuela, and Nicaragua are among the region's worst performers, with public institutions often used to shield elites from accountability. Asia-Pacific remains stagnant, with many countries failing to deliver on anti-corruption promises. Countries like Myanmar and Sri Lanka continue to score poorly, while South Korea and Vietnam have shown small but steady improvements. Sub-Saharan Africa continues to struggle with systemic corruption and a lack of political will to implement reforms. Countries like South Sudan and Somalia rank at the very bottom of the CPI, with endemic corruption worsened by ongoing conflict and weak institutions. Since 2018, 12 countries have seen significant declines in their CPI scores. These include both low- and middle-income nations such as Nicaragua, Myanmar, and Venezuela, as well as high-income countries like the United Kingdom, Austria, and Turkey. The reasons for these declines vary, from political interference in judicial systems to the erosion of democratic institutions. Despite the global stagnation, some countries have made progress in their fight against corruption. Ukraine, in particular, has risen steadily on the CPI for the past decade, thanks to judicial reforms and anti-corruption efforts, even amid ongoing conflict. Countries like South Korea, Moldova, and Armenia have also improved their scores, demonstrating that progress is possible, even in challenging environments. Corruption weakens societies, erodes public trust, and disproportionately affects the most vulnerable. While some progress has been made, much more needs to be done. Governments must prioritize transparency, strengthen their judicial systems, and hold those in power accountable. Only then can we make meaningful strides toward reducing corruption worldwide. If you're interested in learning more about global corruption or getting involved in anti-corruption efforts, visit the Transparency International website and check out their full 2023 Corruption Perceptions Index. Together, we can push for a more transparent and accountable world.